I'll describe what the communication protocol is within the Recruiters Roundtable and with all the roundtables that I run. And um, first of all, one of the most important basic foundational pieces of being in a roundtable is that it is confidential. So we invoke our agreement to confidentiality at the beginning of every meeting. And that is just to remind everybody that, what gets said at this table doesn't go out of this room. And we really take that seriously. So, like a doctor or a lawyer, this is privileged information, and it doesn't get shared even with your most intimate partners outside of the table. So that's number one. Number two, when we're in session and when we're doing something that we call giving the presentation, when one of the members is bringing a problem or a situation to the table, one of the communication protocols that we always observe is that we don't give advice, and we only speak from our personal experience. So in that way, we are activating all of our intelligences, not just our intellect, but also the other parts of us too, our emotional intelligence, our spiritual intelligence, our embodied physical intelligence. And then by sharing a personal experience rather than giving advice, so for instance, if you feel like you want to give advice or you have a really strong opinion about something, we take a moment to step back into that opinion and call up what was the actual lived experience that we had that caused us to form this opinion. We share that lived experience, not our opinion. And so the reason that that is so powerful is because then everybody at that table has the opportunity to take away something from that experience, whether or not I'm the person actually having the problem that you're speaking to or not. I could just be an observer at the table observing the interaction, and I may take away something completely different about the experience than the person who's having the problem that's hearing the experience. And in that way, you can also come up with your own tactical and your own strategic solutions based on that shared experience, rather than that person just showing up and saying, here's what you should do, first, second, third, fourth thing. So it's much more of a 360-degree learning experience, because you really have to dig deep and separate and discern between what's your opinion and what's your experience. And it's sort of like exercising a different sort of communication muscle. And that has really powerful benefits, especially over the long term.
I met Diana through an organization called the Young Entrepreneurs Organization. And this was a group of people under the age of 40 who got together to discuss business ideas, struggles. It was a group of business owners under 40 who had companies that were generating more than $1 million in revenue. And many of us needed an outlet to talk about what was going on in our businesses, because you can't discuss certain things with employees that you can talk about with peers. And Diana was one of the earliest members of the group, along with myself, and she just developed rapport with everybody so quickly, and was just someone who was a fantastic listener. So some entrepreneurs want to hot dog it and stand out from the crowd. Diana was much more interested in really getting to know the people in the group and really listening and asking great questions. So she wasn't just popping off with counsel. She was really trying to figure out what we were all about, what our objectives were. And I just felt so lucky to have someone like that in the group, because she served as a model for many other people in the group in terms of how to interact with one's peers. And I learned a lot from watching her. And I learned a lot from the advice and encouragement that she gave me as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so kind of met up with Diana and was able to kind of talk about the Recruiters Roundtable. Talent acquisition or recruiting is something that I've always had a passion for. Something I've been doing for about 15 years now. And being able to kind of sit down and discuss with other recruiters about how we can improve the industry or get suggestions from others, and has been a great experience, right? There are more ways to get things done than I know about. And so being exposed to other professionals and hearing different thoughts has been a positive experience.